We're Heather and Yain, and we are turning this old moving van into a little house on wheels. But this week I have been replaced. I'm over in Ireland visiting my family, and Saren has kindly stepped in to help Yain when I'm away, and she's probably been doing a much better job.
Saren, hi.
While I've been taking some refreshing dips in the sea and some lakes, Saren has made sure Yain does not drop his standards.
Heather, if you're watching it, Yain's clumsy.
Under her supervision, he has finished the
floor, bedroom, and can't get all this framing. I'm pretty bloody happy.
And if you think Saren is an absolute cutie, subscribe below.
Welcome back, everybody, to another week of van building. I did a couple of things over the weekend. Heather has gone off gallivanting back home in Ireland, so she's left me in charge for the week. Very exciting. I did a couple of bits and bobs over the weekend. But mainly it was stuff you didn't need to see. So we essentially put another couple of coats of paint on all the walls. So we've now kind of 3 coats all over the walls, so they're all nice and white and lovely. So I'm going to start laying this lovely floor that we have. So I've just watched a nice video on YouTube, showed me how to lay this properly. I'm going to get to it. Okay, so during my little video I watched, they spoke about putting in an expansion gap, which I didn't think of originally, but makes a whole lot of sense. Obviously the laminate flooring is going to expand and contract with moisture, with weather, with heat, so they recommended about an 8mm gap around the walls, which you then cover. Once they're all laid down, you will then cover with either some beading or skirting or something like that. So to make our approximately 8mm expansion gap, I'm going to make some spacers just out of these bits of leftover wood that I've got. So I'm just going to set our table saw up so they get a nice little 8mm gap, run these through, and we should have some spacers that I can then sit around the walls to butt the floorboards up to. Let's do it. And voila! 1 8mm spacer. 2 8mm spacers. 4 8mm spacers. Let's go. What my YouTube friend did was laid the first ones down here like this. Then he got the next boards, laid them down here next to it so that he knew they were all in line. So essentially these first ones are just like marker boards. He then laid this first whole lane down all the way along so that they were nice, connected them all together, did the same with the second one, then slid that out the way, took these 2 spacer boards out the way, and then slid the whole two completed rows up to the wall with the correct expansion gap. So that's what I'm going to do, and then once they're in place with the expansion gap is when I will then kind of screw them down into the floor. So that's the plan. Let's see how we get on. Do you know what? I'm actually going to go and get my mum's new, very expensive cool Hoover, and I'm going to Hoover this whole place. So she wouldn't let me use her new Hoover, so I had to use the old Hoover, but it's still good. Okay, back to laying the floor. So our handy YouTube man has said that essentially when you get to an end you need to make a cut because the boards don't fit perfectly. What you do is flip the board round the opposite way, so the way it shouldn't fit. You can then measure along here with a saw, because you can get a nice straight edge. So I can just line the saw up against the edge here, draw my line along there with a pencil, then go and make my cut, and then when I flip it round to put it back in, it'll fit perfectly at the other end. Let's see if he's right. Okay, so in theory now, this should just go on there. So now we've got 1 board laid all the way along, and that's my gap that I ended up with at the end. That'll be my expansion gap. And now we're gonna put up row 2, put up the second row, clip it all in, then remove these boards out and that one out, and then push the whole 2 rows up thump against the wall with the expansion gap. Right, let's see. Okay, bit of an update since you... Hi, Serenity. Do you want to come say hello to the camera? Come on then. Look, it's up there. Gotta wave and say hello.
Hello.
Do you like my new floor?
Yeah.
Is it better than the silver floor?
Yeah.
It's like a dance floor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh yeah, boogie boogie. Show me your new shoes. Oh yeah, new Christmas boots. Okay, you want to help me? I'm going to do some talking. Okay, so a bit of an update since I last filmed, because the camera and the phone both died at the same time. Seren has joined me.
Hello.
And we're doing some flooring. So it took me a little while to get the first boards in place and work out exactly how these kind of things clip together properly. You have to put them in at the perfect angle, then tap them in with my little stick and hammer. But once I got that working, I put the first beams in, first three, screwed them down with my spacers that you can see, and then I've just been working away at putting the rest of them in. As you can see, I almost forgot, but didn't. I have to put masking tape down to mark out exactly where my beams are on the floor for the kind of kitchen units and stuff like that, so that when I start building up, I can screw down into the right places. Let me make sure the camera can see me.
Okay.
About here.
Yeah.
Cool. Where is my sweeping brush? Oh, can you pass me my little sweeping brush? Or do you want to do it? Do you want to sweep this bit for me? All the dust. That's it. That's it. Like this. Slide it up. Chunk. Put it down. Like that. And then we've got to get my special, nice gentle tool. Like this. And we just got to go tap, tap, tap.
That's loud.
Loud?
It's loud.
Just a quiet little tap, tap, tap. Pull the handle down to the floor. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Cool, so that's how we're essentially putting these in, so we need to just make sure you're not moving it whilst I'm talking.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how we need to put these in. So we just put them in at an angle, then tapping them in with my hammer and my little tapper. And we'll basically do that all the way along, and then I'm just staggering them randomly because Heather didn't want it to look like a layered brick floor, so we're doing it all nice random kind of flooring pattern, and I'll just keep masking up as we go. All the way up to this little step.
Tiny step.
Yeah, tiny step. There we go. See all of this?
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? Hello again.
And then press the little red button to stop filming.
Okay. Oh. It's me, Darren. Hi. Okay. Bye.
No, keep recording.
I know.
Film
I
here.
said bye.
Okay.
I'm not talking.
Okay, so now that I've got this the right way round, I'm just gonna draw a line down. I'll go to the table saw, cut it, and then it should fit. Finished.
Okay, so I turn the camera off.
Yeah.
Okay,
Press the
bye.
red button. Okay, so now that we've cut this the right size, you
Yeah.
can just slot it in, just like that. And then once it's kind of in position, we get my little tapper.
Where's the tapper?
There's the tapper.
Oh my god, I'm blocking my ears.
Okay. Do you think this will work?
Yeah.
Am I taping, or do you think I'm going to mess it up?
I think I'm gonna mess it up.
You're going to mess it up?
Yeah.
No faith.
Because you always mess things up. You do.
Probably true.
Don't you? If you heard that,
Don't tell Heather though.
no.
Do you think Heather's going to see this video?
I want Heather to watch this video. Heather, if you're watching it, Yaren's clumsy.
Heather is watching. She's going to be editing the video. And she'll make the video and put it on YouTube. And then you'll see your face on there.
Yay!
You'll be on TV.
Bye.
No, you haven't said a bye. Wave.
Bye. Bye.
welcome to day 2 on my own and my new cabinets. So Heather's going to be pretty mad. I put the camera in on charge, like a good boy, last night, then forgot to bring it out this morning, and then thought, oh, I'll just do this a little bit and then I'll get the camera, and then I'll just do this a little bit and I'll get the camera, and that continued pretty much all day. So now it's afternoon, it's dark, lights are out, and I'm going to show you what I've done. So as you can see, me and Sarah finished the floor off. I kind of started on the cabinets or the wardrobes. So these are now mine and Heather's wardrobe. So this is obviously Heather's side, that's mine. As we've spoken about before, these are essentially Heather's is going to open up like a normal wardrobe. Mine will pull out into this middle area here. What I had to do was, the reason I marked the tape up was so that I could find exactly where the beams are underneath. I can cut a hole in the floor. I could then put these structural beams down and screw them into the floor and into my wall plates. So I've obviously got beams going across in the walls, which I could screw to. So these are now pretty rock solid, which is good because there's going to be a lot of weight. We're going to be climbing up and down here all the time. Then all I did was put these beams that go lengthways all the way to the back on top of these and screwed them to our original base and these. So that essentially gave it strength both ways. And these beams that are coming across that are taking all the weight have been mounted on top of these so that all the weight's going down through, so that the weight's not on the screws. The only pieces of beam that the weight is on the screws are these cross ones. That's okay because there's multiple of them which are going to spread the weight. And the main kind of load-bearing part is going down through these struts. Once I'd finished that, I did this side, then that side, both exactly the same. It's pretty boring, to be fair. It's my excuse, Heather, don't kill me. Kind of boring. Anyway, just did lots of cuts, the same length. Screwed it all together, very simple frame. Then I went and got another sheet of this 9mm chipboard, and I essentially just measured up, cut it to size, and placed it in. And that now is our bed. So this is the full width of our double bed, plus an extra, I think about a foot, maybe a foot and a half of room, which we're going to leave as that curved end back there. And essentially all we're going to do with that curved end, with that extra space, is put in some little shelves and like a bedside table, essentially. So essentially got a full-size double, and we're putting our real nice, very expensive mattress in here, so that we can get a good night's sleep, and that will be like a full-time bed. So, because the one thing we really didn't want to do was have to make a bed every day, so that will be up here permanently. We'll climb into our bed, and that will be that. Okay, we're back. So after yesterday's shoddy performance at videoing for you guys, I'm back on form today. I've got the camera back in first thing. And I'm going to carry on with some framing. So I'm going to start with framing out the kitchen area and then moving into the seating area. The kind of only part that I'm not going to frame is the shower part, because anything that I need to essentially join to the roof, I need to put the roof beams in. And I really kind of want Heather here for that, because that's going to be a hard one to do on my own. So I'm gonna leave that corner of just the shower that goes up to the roof, basically. But everything else I'm going to frame out, ready to go. Let's get started. Okay, so I've just been around marking out where all my posts are going to go, all my vertical posts. And essentially I just go around with my multi-tool, cut out that section of the floor. And then I can sit the post in, and it actually keeps, because they're quite snug and tight, it keeps the post almost sturdy and keeps it upright. And then I can screw into the beams that are underneath afterwards. But it allows me essentially to put them right down onto the floor, onto the beams, rather than this floor. And it just gives them a little bit more rigidity. Okay, so I've just been round, measured up all of the beams that are going to go in. What I want to do is basically make a cut list, then I can go into the shed, cut all my beams to size, then I only have to do one trip into there, I can come back out and I can just start screwing everything together, in theory. There may be a few minor adjustments that need to happen to the beams once I've started putting everything in place, because if you're doing your own van build, you will realise that nothing is square, nothing is level, nothing is quite straight in these vans, so every time you put something up, the beams are all slightly off, so. But you kind of make do with it. So I'll cut them all to pretty much the right size, then I'll come in here, put them together, and if they're slightly off, I'll trim them down.
Just hold on tight, it'll be alright.
Okay, apologise for the terrible noise. It's just started pouring down the rain and we're in a tin shed. I have just made a new table. Because I need to do lots of long cuts. And before it was a real pain in the ass because this, my table saw isn't quite long enough for like the big cuts. So I've just made this makeshift table here so that I can slide this along a bit easier and actually take my cuts properly. I've got 2260, I've got the 557, some sort of short one, number 950s. I need to do another one of these and another 8 of these, but I've run out of wood, so I'm going to have to go into B&Q, get some more, and I'll be back to continue filming this. Okay, so I've been and got my new timbers. The weather's got no better, it's still hammering down. It's actually worse now. But I'm going to get all these cut up to size now, and hopefully I've got enough for the other side as well, so that should be enough timber to do the whole back of the van, so I can start framing this out properly. Okay, that's all I'm done. Although I'm probably not the most safety precautious when it comes to this sort of stuff, because I'm not turning this on and off all the time, I did find this old chainsaw mask with some EADF on, and I recommend everyone wear EADF when they do this sort of stuff, because Heather will kick my ass, because I've got bad hearing from the military and shooting and all sorts of other stuff, and these had EADF on, so that's why I was wearing that. And you should too, health and safety people. Yeah, so this is basically what I'm doing. I'm just cutting out the space for my upright beams to go in, just like they have over here. I must admit, it's amazing how much sound kind of dampening is now in here, just with the insulation and the boards. It is blowing a gale outside. You heard what it sounded like in the shed, and this is essentially made of pretty much the same sort of materials, and it is very quiet in here, which is nice. Well, quiet until I'm cutting stuff up. Then it's not so quiet. Nice. So they're upright. Whilst I'm mounting these, as I'm mounting these ones onto the wall, because obviously we've got beams in the wall, so I'm screwing these into the wall as the best kind of place to secure them. I'm making sure they're pretty much square. As I said in yesterday's video, nothing in these vans is quite level or perfect. Like obviously the van's not park level, so you can't do anything with the spirit level. So I basically just try and make sure that everything's as square as possible, so from the floor up vertically. And it's quite often surprising how bad I am at judging how square things are. Because I go, oh yeah, that looks good, and then I put it up to the fucking set square and it's miles away, so. Go. Easy on me, baby. I'm gonna show you some stuff over here. Can you see it? No, you can't. Hooray. I must admit, we bought this on a bit of a whim. This is like a really cheap brand in the UK, McAllister. We just bought this, it was like 30 quid. Just thought it might come in handy. I've used this loads and it's been really, really helpful. So, good review, highly recommended. McAllister, not bad tools. Not bad for 30 quid, that's for sure. Definitely does the job. Yeah. So, here's my little bit. I just cut out. That leaves my nice little square for my beam to go in, plonk, and then I'll screw that in. That coffee would make Heather gag. So basically lukewarm, nearly cold. She would not be impressed. Okay, now that we've got all of these vertical beams in, I'm gonna try and hopefully lay this and see. Should fit. Okay, I want this end to be nice and flush, and then that end should be kind of halfway along, so that when I put the next beam to the end, it can rest on the same beam.
And then you stood there smiling at me, as so many times
Alright,
before.
it's in. Cool. Now this is going to be obviously our kitchen here, but that's the height, so I've actually made it slightly higher because I hate having to bend over like I'm doing right now. I hate having to bend over when I'm like doing the dishes and stuff like that, so we've actually made our units, best thing about making your own kitchen, higher, and we're going to have like a countertop on top of here as well that'll make it even higher again. So I'll actually be able to stand up and do stuff, and it's not too tall that Heather can't reach it, which is an issue we have as well. Cool, now I'll just do this side, cross beams, and that's pretty much me. Woohoo! In here is garage area, obviously all the way back to the back doors. And then from that white line there forward is kitchen area. And this is the height that it's going to be. So pretty cool, plenty of garage space, plenty of kitchen space, plenty of sofa space. This thing is actually quite big. I keep forgetting how big this van is, but very cool. Okay, fairly productive morning. It's about 3:20. I've got another hour and a half or so of light, so I've finished doing the kitchen. I'm gonna go for a run, and then I'm gonna come back after kind of dinner in the dark, and I'll hopefully finish off some more of the sofa area. I'll see you after I do some flash running. Back, Alicia. Okay, so we are back. Been for my run. It's now 7 PM, had dinner, and time to get back into it. I want to do a bit more of the, moving the lights. I want to do a bit more of the sofa area, hopefully kind of finish some of this off. So I've been and just cut a load more of these uprights, well, enough that I should be able to go all the way around. And then I'm hoping I've got enough of this wood left to finish the sofa area. So I've just finished cutting all of my lengths of beams for the second wave of fitting. You wouldn't believe it, but when I ran out of wood earlier and I did a quick measure up and guesstimated how many more beams I would need, I literally used the very last beam to the last, that much, and managed to get every single cut out. So I'm going to pretend like I planned that, but I did not. But I nailed it.
Baby, how I need your loving from you. Baby.
Progress was going so well that something clearly had to happen. I just ran out of screws that were the right size and length, so I'm going to go and have a look in my old man's shed and see if he's got any random old boxes of screws that will fit. Let's see and hope and pray, because it's late at night and I can't buy any anywhere. Dad's shed prevailed again. Thanks, Dad. Oh yeah, pretty solid. Just put these in between beams in now. We've got our other sofa area. Booyah! Booyah! Okay, so as you can see, I managed to get everything up, and my rigid measuring everything beforehand, cutting it all beforehand, has failed me. And well, as I mentioned earlier, nothing in these vans are perfectly straight or square, and I think the middle of this van, kind of the walls, obviously bow out very slightly. So this beam that I cut, which should go here and one behind me to finish this whole thing off, so just the two, that I measured from the floor, fits perfectly down here on the floor. And then when I get to here, it's about 1.5 inches short, so whatever reason. And I've got no more wood left to finish this, as I thought it was perfect earlier and I'd done all the right cuts and used all the right amount of wood, but not perfect. So I just need to do 2 of these cuts tomorrow, stick them in, and then that is all of the framing done, which is quite cool. Then it's just a case of finishing the wiring and plumbing, and then kind of finishing touches. And this van is actually getting pretty close to being livable, which is cool. I'm very excited because my challenge, I don't know if we've already said about this, but I'm doing a kind of charity event raising some money for my father, and I'm going to run the length of the UK, run and cycle. So I'm going to start in Cornwall, so like Land's End to John O'Groats, run hopefully about 30 mile a day, cycle around about 100 mile a day, and just keep going all the way up to John O'Groats. So that's the plan, and we wanted to do it in this, which is why we want to get this done by the kind of 1st of Feb. So that is why I'm cranking away these late nights, because it's now 9:30 at night, to get it done. But we'll have more on my challenge as we get a bit closer to it, because Heather's going to film the whole thing whilst I'm in shit state. But I am signing off for the night. I will see you all tomorrow morning, and we'll get this finished and a few other bits. See ya in the morning. Okay, welcome back, world. I think it's Friday. Heather's back tomorrow, so it's been a whole week of me on my own. I've got a good bit done. I managed to find a scrap piece of wood that we had that I could cut in half and make the 2 pieces that I couldn't fit last night, and I've just put them on. And now I've just got our kitchen countertop and cut it to size, and now I'm going to put it up in here. I'm not going to mount it down or anything because we need to put all the everything underneath it, but I want to put it in there and just see if it fits, make sure it looks nice, and make sure that the actual framing works and is not going to collapse under the weight. So let's go test it. Oh, and there she is. This is particularly heavy, so let's see how we go. Yes, I'm definitely keeping the place clean, Heather, I promise. Hiya. And you think I'm 6. Hiya, hiya. Super light. Kitchen countertop. How come every time Heather goes away I have to lift something heavy? Last time it was the back door. Hey, she fits. Cool. How do you like our kitchen? Look at all this space for activities. Look at all these chickens. And in theory this should take, well, like all of that up there, should take our weight. So, like a sofa. Hup. And you think I'm 6? Cool. We got a kitchen. Tap tap. I don't know what to do now. I'm at another impasse. When Heather's not here I keep completing tasks. I completed the bedroom task, nipped. Completed the flooring task, nipped. Completed the framing task, nipped. I just get so much more done when you're not here, Heather. And when I went away, Heather got, kinda did the wiring, then kind of ripped it out. Kinda did some insulation, but kinda ripped it out. No use. Women, who needs them? Me, I'm only joking, love you. So this week, I have conquered, floor, bedroom, and conquered all this framing. So, framed out all of the living room and the kitchen. I'm pretty bloody happy. It's really cool. In like a week now, just putting in, literally just this week, just painting the walls and putting the floor and these frames in, it's starting to look like a house. It's really, really cool. You know, I'm excited. I'm excited to actually live in this little bad boy. Me and Heather can have some cool adventures. Right, on that note, we will see you next week. Bye everyone.